Wow, is that a monkey?
I genuinely, what is this?
Creature, and it's flaring up too. Look at the spines on it.
A video is circulating, showing a lifeless creature on the ground with a long tail, large limbs, sharp claws, bat-like wings, and a mouth full of teeth, basically resembling a dragon.
What's that? What? I can't zoom in any further. There he is. Do you see that in the middle of the camera? What the hell is that? Oh no. Oh no.
With how advanced art and realistic models have become, it is difficult to tell whether it is an actual creature or just a highly detailed sculpture placed to attract attention, leaving the whole thing open to doubt. A night vision clip shows a huge creature crawling through a forest on all fours, moving toward the camera while growling in a way that feels straight out of a horror scene. At first, it might seem like a big cat such as a tiger or lion, but its face does not match any known animal and gives off a strange, unnatural vibe. It looks dangerous either way, but there is strong doubt around it since it could easily be CGI or edited footage, and even people reviewing it are leaning toward it being fake. A video from a TikTok page that shares creepy and unexplained moments shows a guy named Eric on a solo camping trip in the middle of the wilderness. What was supposed to be a peaceful night took a strange turn after he finished setting up and sat by the fire. Out of nowhere, a sharp, unsettling sound echoed through the forest, instantly making things feel off. Not knowing what it was or where it came from, he grabbed his phone and started recording. Then, the screaming kicked in, loud, chilling, and completely unlike anything he had heard before. It felt like the sound was coming from everywhere, getting more intense by the second. He looked around the trees, trying to spot the source, but there was nothing in sight. After what seemed like forever, it suddenly stopped, and the forest went quiet again, though the fear didn't go away. Eric froze for a moment, then trusted his instincts and decided to leave. He grabbed his stuff and got out of there fast, shaken but relieved to be heading somewhere safe. Once the video went online, it sparked a lot of theories. Some people thought it was a wild animal, while others believed it could be something far more strange or even supernatural. The footage shows a small, strange creature briefly appearing before quickly disappearing, with a tiny body, small head, and unusual eyes that give it an almost otherworldly look.
What the fuck?
It resembles something out of fantasy, like a dark version of a pixie, but far from anything friendly or familiar. Its sudden movement and hiding behavior raise a lot of unanswered questions about what it is, why it was there, and whether more of these creatures could exist. A man was camping in the forest when he spotted movement in the dark and decided to start recording. As the camera faces the trees, a large shadow can be seen moving through the forest, but something about it feels off, almost fake. Many people pointed out that the way it moves doesn't seem natural. In Scotland, there is a ghost town called Clune Park Estate, a place filled with abandonment and a heavy, eerie feeling. Two friends decide to explore the ruined buildings, and early in the morning, they enter an old apartment. Everything is completely silent until they realize they are not alone.
Hello. Isn't it? Hello? Me. Hello? Hey, friends. Hello. What is that? I already have you. Hello?
There's someone down there, bro. How can you? I'm confused. Huh? In that room. Hello?
Hello?
What are we hearing? Well,
They begin to hear distinct noises, like footsteps coming from downstairs. When they check it out, there is no one there. The real shock comes later when they watch their recordings back.
future in hand.
That one is open. Me. You see movement? Look at the light.
Yo. Yo. That. Yo.
Looking at the window, a very pale face can be seen hiding behind the curtain, silently watching before slipping back into the shadows. The boys immediately run without turning back, and honestly, it makes sense. What remains unclear is what kind of presence could still be lurking in those abandoned ruins, and no one knows what happened after that. Strange footage was reportedly captured at a cathedral in Nicaragua, showing a winged creature climbing to the top before flying away.
Bro, I don't know where it's coming from. I genuinely, what is this?
The person who shared it believed it was a gargoyle. Traditionally, gargoyles are animal-like stone carvings found on buildings, especially cathedrals, used to direct rainwater away while also being seen as spiritual protectors against evil. Some legends even claim they can come to life. However, in this clip, the creature looks a bit too animated and unrealistic to be an actual gargoyle. Its movement and appearance don't match the solid, stone-like feel we usually associate with them. It could just be a hoax or clever CGI. Some people believe it's real, while others aren't convinced. A fisherman pulled up his line, expecting a normal catch, but found a strange creature attached to the fish, something that looked like a large caterpillar with a pink, smooth body covered in legs and spines.
Anyone know what this creature, and it's flaring up too. Look at the spines on it.
It was clearly not something commonly seen in the ocean, making the whole thing feel unusual and a bit unsettling. The appearance leaves it unclear whether it is some kind of deep-sea species or just an unfamiliar form of marine life. A hiker exploring an Australian acacia forest near a small lake noticed something unusual at the water's edge. When he lifted his camera, a strange creature appeared, moving in a way that didn't match any normal animal. It wasn't quite tall enough to be Bigfoot, but it was still much larger than a typical ape, leaving him confused about what he had just seen. Whatever it was, something unusual was definitely out there in the Australian wilderness. A strange video shared by a TikTok user known as Haunted TikToker has stirred up debate. The clip shows a small figure sitting completely still, with an unusual shape that's hard to make out.
Wow, is that a monkey?
Even though the person recording says it's a monkey, many viewers aren't convinced. Its long limbs, hunched shape, and the way it stayed completely still made people question that explanation. On the other hand, skeptics suggested it could just be a raccoon, or even a branch that only looks like a figure from a certain angle. With the video being low quality and the figure not moving at all, it's hard to say what it really is, leaving it open to interpretation. A scene describes walking through the woods and spotting someone crouched near bushes, but as they stand up, it turns out to be a tall, 7 to 8 foot creature covered in dark fur with a mix of ape and human features, resembling Bigfoot. Its presence feels intense and unreal, turning a normal moment into something straight out of a mystery. A video was shared showing a strange creature that looks almost prehistoric rising out of the water. It slowly surfaces, then suddenly sprays water from the top of its head like a blowhole. But it doesn't fully resemble a whale. It's smaller, closer to the size of a dolphin, with a hazy look and odd swirling patterns on its body. For a moment, it feels like something from another era. Some believe it might be a baby whale, though that's not confirmed, while others think it could be a rare or unknown species. Whatever it is, it's definitely unusual and not something people are used to seeing. A woman was peacefully canoeing on Lake Michigan and had already started heading back when she spotted a huge figure walking along the shoreline. Feeling both curious and uneasy, she adjusted her canoe to keep watching. The figure was tall, walking upright on 2 legs, moving steadily by the water. It was unclear whether it was Bigfoot or just someone in a costume, and unfortunately, there wasn't much more information to confirm either way. A creepy video shared on TikTok by Travel with F quickly left viewers feeling uneasy.
What the was that? Oh my God!
The video shows what seems like a ghostly figure caught on a caravan security camera in Indonesia. Even without fully understanding the audio, the visuals are enough to feel unsettling. At first, nothing seems unusual as the man checks the footage, but then he pauses and spots a humanoid figure standing outside in the dim light. He doesn't explain much, just reacting in shock while replaying the clip, which makes it even more mysterious. Viewers started sharing different ideas. Some think it could be a spirit linked to local folklore, while others believe it's just a person passing by. Still, the figure's stillness and how clearly it stands out in the dark make it hard to ignore, and without more details, it's impossible to know what it really is. A security camera in Mexico captured a strange event where a large number of yellow-headed birds suddenly fell from the sky, with some flying away again, but many were left dead on the ground. Experts are trying to figure it out, and while one idea is that a predator may have scared them into dropping, that does not fully explain why so many fell at once, leaving the incident unexplained so far. A hunter walking through the snow after a storm came across a strange creature lying on the forest floor with a round head, human-like neck and shoulders, and skin that blended in like dried leaves. What stood out most were its glowing eyes in the dark, and the moment felt oddly mutual as both seemed surprised to see each other. The appearance left it unclear whether it was something unusual, like a goblin, or just a misidentified animal, possibly even a goat. Meet Lauren, a girl who just moved into a new house. In the video, she starts recording her backyard, puts on her work boots, walks around exploring, and comes across a dead tree. But it is not just an ordinary tree.
I have a bunch of trees in my backyard, but there's one that doesn't look like the other.
Looking more closely at the tree, Lauren notices something unusual, strange holes, and unsettling remains inside. Instead of leaving it alone, she decides to take an animal skull from the tree into her house. After that, things start going wrong. Objects begin to move and fall on their own, even when others are present. Her pets start behaving strangely, acting scared, like they sense something she cannot see. Then it gets even more unsettling when the doorbell starts ringing with no one there.
Luna, come on.
The doorbell starts ringing non-stop, so Lauren goes to check, but there is no one there at all. The stress begins to take a toll on her, but she cannot afford to move out. One day, after coming back from work, she notices something disturbing on her fence. Strange objects left behind, possibly by someone or something. There are odd items like creepy figurines and animal skulls, similar to the one she brought home. It almost looks like some kind of dark ritual is being carried out in her yard. the disturbances do not stop. The next night, while locked in her room trying to rest, she starts hearing loud knocking on her window.
Luna, come here. Sit. Come here. Can't see.
Lauren ends up opening the window, and what the microphone captures next is chilling. A faint whisper can be heard, an unfamiliar voice speaking to her from the darkness. Terrified, she leaves the house that same night, but her curiosity pushes her to check the backyard cameras to see what had been following her. Whatever she saw, there removed any doubt. She knew she would never return to that house. Looking at the tree line, a dark and unsettling shape can be seen moving at an unnatural speed, right where those ritual objects were found. No one knows what that thing was. The most disturbing part is that this was Lauren's last post, around 2 years ago. Whether she managed to leave and escape, or something worse happened to her behind closed doors, remains unknown. After that, she completely disappeared. Instagram user Mount Riley shared trail cam footage from deep in Red Hook, New York, showing a strange bipedal figure moving across a snowy, swampy area around 3 a.m. in freezing conditions. According to the uploader, it covered nearly 40 yards in just 1.5 seconds. The figure appeared to have 2 arms and 2 legs, but its speed didn't match any known animal in the area. There's no clear explanation, whether it's an unknown creature, a cryptid, or something else entirely. The footage remains one of the most eerie and unexplained sightings from that region. A man named Jason Howry was exploring a river in northwest Missouri when he spotted something unusual sticking out of the water. At first, it looked like a large piece of driftwood, but as he got closer, he realized it was something much more unusual.
Oh, it's so heavy.
Buried in the riverbed was a huge leg bone. Jason pulled the massive fossil onto the shore, and its size and weight made it obvious it came from something far bigger than any animal living there today. What he found was the leg bone of a Columbian mammoth, an ancient relative of the woolly mammoth. These enormous creatures once roamed parts of North America, including Missouri, over 10,000 years ago during the last ice age. The footage was recorded by a man named Todd in a part of the woods he chose not to reveal. He claims the reason is simple. He believes what he captured is real Bigfoot. According to him, he has seen this humanoid, ape-like creature multiple times in the same area. He says it looks different from a typical ape in its build, fur, and facial features, even though it shares some similarities. Based on his experiences, he's convinced it's Bigfoot. After reviewing the clip several times, it stands out as one of the clearest possible sightings, but whether it's actually Bigfoot is still up for debate. Workers digging in a forest had no idea a massive figure, similar to Bigfoot, was standing nearby, hidden behind trees and an excavator. The creature just watched them quietly, unfazed by the noise and activity, creating a tense and eerie moment as it observed without being noticed. A parent and their child were walking through the woods when they came across something strange. Partially hidden behind a tree stood a large, hairy bipedal figure. It didn't run or react. Instead, it just stood there, watching them as closely as they were watching it. The way it stayed completely still, even after being noticed, made the moment feel even more unsettling. They eventually left, unsure of what they had seen, and later wondered if it could have been a statue or some kind of setup. A woman named Nena has a camera facing her house entrance and the street, and one night it recorded something disturbing. While everything around looked normal and clear, a pale, ghost-like figure suddenly appeared and walked past her house along the sidewalk. What made it even stranger was that everything else, the cars, bushes, and houses, was perfectly visible, but the figure itself looked blurry and distorted, despite being close to the camera. Nena had never seen anything like it before, and she hopes she never does again. A person, curious about stories of a small town said to be haunted at night, stops to observe the area after dark. After parking the car, the camera flash is turned on to capture anything unusual. At first, everything seems normal, but then attention shifts to a nearby building that already looks unsettling in the dim light. Suddenly, something far more disturbing appears. A large, shadowy figure moving inside, clearly not human, with a size and shape that feels unnatural. Shocked, the person quickly runs back to the car and later uploads the footage online, asking others what they think. Stefan Dev is known for fun and energetic videos, usually focused on challenges, daily life, and time with friends, but he also has a strong interest in the paranormal and often explores abandoned or haunted places. This time, he decided to push things further by camping with his friend Sasha and cameraman Stein in one of France's most haunted areas, the Verdun Forest. They arrived on July 30th, 2023, at a location known for its dark history as the site of the Battle of Verdun, one of the deadliest battles ever, where the land is still marked by unexploded shells and the remains of soldiers. Over the years, many stories have described ghostly figures roaming the forest, believed to be spirits that never found peace, and as Stefan and his team settled in for the night, they were expecting to experience something supernatural.
Dit is al lang geleden. Dit is zo een soort van... Dit is wel echt een avontuur. Ja, avontuur en ook echt iets wat we nog nooit op deze manier gedaan hebben. In het wild kamperen. Alleen dat is dat is überhaupt, al doe je dat hier in de, weet ik veel, op de Veluwe is het al eng. Maar dan is het ook nog een gebied waar...
Before heading into the forest, they made a surprising admission. None of them had ever gone camping before. Still, they gathered supplies, bought tents and sleeping bags, and set off on a 3-hour drive to their destination.
What loop jij hier? Holy shit. Hè? Heb je dat erop staan? Ja, denk het lijkt me wel. Hij had een heel raar loopje. Het is donker. Het is dikke donker hier zo. Dat hij daar staan lopen. Kijk vooruit, je ziet letterlijk niks. Hij loopt zonder licht daar. Hij liep ook deze kant op. Hij liep ook deze kant op. Bro, als zo'n guy ineens naar zijn tent staat. Dat bedoel ik, er lopen hier mensen s'nachts zo. Dat is helemaal fucked.
As night set in and they got closer to the Verdun forest, an uneasy feeling started to build. Then something strange happened. Near the tree line, they saw a lone figure wandering in the darkness, which made no sense in such a remote place at that hour. The deeper they drove, the forest felt darker and more suffocating. When they finally stopped and stepped out, they realized something even worse. None of their phones had any signal, meaning there was no way to call for help. Even with that, they decided to keep going.
Ja, ik ook daar ergens. Waarom zit er een... Oh, kijk, hier heb je ook al die kraters weer. Oh ja. Kijk. Kijk dit bos houden. Ja, lukken. Het bos is echt koud. Maar hier is dus nog zo'n vorm. Zie je dit?
Geen bereik ook, weet je. Nee, zie je 0. Echt? 0, ja, alles wel.
Determined to find an old abandoned fort said to be hidden deep in the woods, they kept moving forward, but just as they reached the spot, something unexpected happened.
Kijk, de IMF. Was jij dat? Oh. Hij was nog helemaal op zijn max. Hè? Hoe kan dat?
zet één stap op dit ding. Ik zeg net toch letterlijk van, er is hier geen straling in de bos. Nee. Goos, we hebben niet eens bereikt. Kijk, het is gewoon weg. Het is gewoon weg. Ja, echt? Oh, kut. Oh mijn god, zo schrok zich helemaal. Ik dacht dat iemand er kwam opeens. Was het weer zo'n vleermuis? Ja, weer een vleermuis. Jesus Christ, ha. Oh mijn god, kijk maar. Zo, het ding gaat helemaal los houden. Hij zat op 5 net. What the?
Their EMF detector suddenly went off, reacting as if something unseen was close by. The group looked at each other nervously, wondering if they had just come into contact with something paranormal. Trying to stay calm, they set up their tent and placed a REM pod outside to track any movement.
Ga weg. Maar dan kan ik nog zo vanaf hier. Stond je daar? Ik stond hier. Ja. Oh my god. Oh mijn god. Ga precies als we de tent uitgaan nog niet. Oké, nou, dat is het enige enge wat nog niet gebeurd is, was dat. Oké. Laten we even zo'n rondje gaan maken. Maar laten we deze hier. Neem die ook mee.
As soon as they finished setting up their campsite, the device started going off again, as if something or someone was nearby. Feeling uneasy, they went for a walk to calm themselves. But instead of finding relief, they came across something terrifying.
Who's that? Hoor je het? Ja, man. Ja, check.
A sudden noise caught their attention, and when they pointed their flashlights toward it, they saw someone hiding behind a tree. The moment the figure realized it had been spotted, it took off running. Panic hit instantly. They were not alone, and someone had been watching them the whole time. Without wasting a second, they rushed back to their campsite, quickly trying to pack everything up while their hands shook as they struggled with the tent.
Wat was dat? Heb ik mijn autosleutels niet? Nee, donder op. Nee, donder op, dat kan niet. Gaat het in deze zak? Nee, ik ga echt niet. Ik ga niet terug. Zit hier je buidel van je trui in jouw tas of zo? Ik wil echt niet, maar serieus, ik wil echt niet op die kant op. Oké, goed. Dat is als je echt blij bent. Kijk, zo. Naar hier rennen. Ja, is goed. Joh. Oh, loopt hij? Nee, maar misschien was dat wel een vraag. Jullie hebben gewoon die hele tent opgepakt. Ja, we zien hem. Zag je het? Ja, ik denk op beeld. Oh, hij valt echt een kuttent.
With adrenaline kicking in, they knew they had to leave immediately. As they rushed to pack up, fear took over. What if that figure was not alone? What if others were nearby? In the chaos, they dropped their car keys and searched desperately in the dark until they finally found them. Without stopping, they tossed their gear into the car, jumped in, and sped away from the forest. They drove for 3 hours straight back to the Netherlands, barely speaking, still shaken. They went there expecting ghosts, but ended up facing something much more frightening. A video shows a man moving around his home when a bag suddenly falls off the counter for no clear reason. After placing it back, a nearby chair starts moving on its own without anyone touching it, making the whole scene feel eerie. The man does not seem too shocked, which makes it seem like this might not be the first time something like this has happened. Stories of creatures like dragons, werewolves, and witches have always belonged to fantasy, but sightings in forests and mountains make them feel closer to reality. In one case, a hiker in the woods came across a striking white horse that appeared to have a horn on its head, giving it the look of a unicorn. The unusual sight blurs the line between myth and reality, making it seem like these legendary creatures might not be just stories after all. A paranormal channel uploaded a clip to YouTube about 14 years ago titled "Real Paranormal Activity Caught on Video." In the description, the uploader said it was recorded during their stay in a supposedly haunted house. According to them, everything started after they used a Ouija board out of curiosity, just to see if they could make contact with something. But after that one session, strange and unexplained events began to happen. As things got more intense, they decided to start recording whatever they could.
This house is officially haunted right now. If there's something here, could you make a sound? Please do that again.
Putting aside the low quality of the footage, did you notice anything? There seems to be a figure standing in the hallway, but the person recording doesn't realize it. Then a voice that sounds like a little girl can be heard, even though the recorder is supposedly alone. After the video was posted online, viewers were split on what they believed it showed. A clip shows someone coming across a strange, shelled creature that looks similar to a crab, sparking curiosity about what it actually is.
Yo, what the fuck is this thing? Crab? Coral?
As the person moves closer, the creature starts making a strange sound, while the camera begins to shake and blur, creating a weird effect. This has led some to think the creature might be causing electromagnetic interference, though it could also just be a coincidence or misinterpretation of what is happening. A man went into the woods hoping to catch a glimpse of Bigfoot, but his trip quickly turned into something far more frightening. Out of nowhere, a rock hit him in the head and knocked him out, but his phone kept recording. The sounds captured made him question if Bigfoot was actually behind the attack. In a hidden cave, explorers came across a strange object that left them puzzled, as it seemed too intricate to be an ordinary rock, but too unclear to properly identify. The form looked like something preserved in time, with some viewing it as a reptilian queen with a powerful ancient presence, while others believed it could be a statue of a forgotten deity, with no solid evidence or context. Its true origin and meaning remain unknown. A TikToker named Ashley usually posts toy reviews and fun content, but one video on her profile feels completely different. Late one night, her security camera picked up movement outside, and what it captured left her feeling uneasy. After two men walked past, something odd appeared behind them. A faint, almost see-through figure showed up near the parked cars and moved to the right. It looked misty and hard to make out on camera. Ashley wasn't sure what to think. There shouldn't have been any child out at that hour, so it's unclear whether it was something unusual or just something that can be explained. The video is from the YouTube channel Man Dog Wild, where Johan, an experienced outdoorsman, has been sharing his camping and survival trips for years. His passion for nature shows as he explores remote places and takes on outdoor challenges. This time, he goes back to a location in the English countryside that had previously left him uneasy after hearing strange, unexplained sounds at night. Even though the experience was unsettling, his curiosity brought him back, not knowing what might happen next. On January 16th, 2025, Daryl reaches the same mysterious spot, ready to camp. With daylight still out and his dogs with him, he pauses to enjoy the calm atmosphere, making a cup of coffee and taking in the silence.
just come on to rain. Pretty wild weather. One moment it's sun, and the next, boom, here comes the rain. It's not forecast, so hopefully it's just a passing shower. We are down in our little area here, and yeah, it's just a matter of waiting for it to pass.
As evening settles in, heavy rain suddenly pours down out of nowhere. Johan waits it out, taking it as part of nature's unpredictability. Just when things start to feel calm again, one of his dogs suddenly gets tense, fixated on something in the trees. Johan tries to ignore it, thinking it might just be an animal nearby. But deep down, something feels off.
He's not barking. Normally the other way around. I just can't get over there quickly to be able to see what she's barking at. Like, there's just no way to get there quickly. Okay. Out. Thing is, if it was a person, Yeti would be barking too.
The dense forest starts to feel uneasy and no longer safe, so he decides to move to a more open area before settling in for the night. As darkness takes over, a strange sound echoes around him, a distant, almost melodic voice drifting through the trees.
Okay. You know, something was, that was instinct. That was just, get the out. Just move. Just, I had to move from where we were. Like, I was getting this kind of claustrophobia, you know? I don't know, something like that. Not claustrophobia, but it's just, something was telling me to leave. Leave now. Yeah. It was like instinct. She was speaking to me, and I was thinking about them. And you see, when DC was barking and Yeti was staring straight at me, that's communication. That's a communication happening there. She wasn't focused on anything else but me. And then she solidified that by coming over to me, sitting down straight in front of me. She's telling me we need to go. She did that to me before. She's done it to me before. This is how I know. She in the video where we found the footprint. In the video where we found the footprint, she did the exact same thing. She came up to me directly in front of me, sits down, and that's her saying, "Take it up there, make some dinner." What the f*** is that? The f*** is that? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
A faint, unsettling melody keeps repeating in the distance. The second he hears it, a chill runs through him. He tries to focus and figure out where it's coming from, but nothing is visible. His dogs grow restless, and his instincts start telling him it's time to get out of there.
There's a... Eddie, you can catch up. We'll leave. Jetty. Let's go.
Without wasting a second, Johan grabs what he can and heads out of the forest, leaving most of his stuff behind. The next morning, even though he still feels uneasy, he goes back to collect his things. Everything is exactly where he left it, untouched, but that strange melody stays stuck in his mind. Whatever was out there in the dark is still unknown. The footage shows a fast-moving figure shifting from the background toward parked vehicles, but its shape looks more like smoke than a solid body. It was not even noticed at first and was only spotted later while reviewing the recording, which made it even more puzzling. After being shared online, people came up with different ideas, ranging from something supernatural or alien to what some describe as a shadow-like entity, leaving the true explanation unclear. A man was driving home late at night on April 20th, 2025, when he heard a loud, eerie howl coming from the darkness. Curious but uneasy, he pulled over and started recording. Not long after, something moved in the bushes, and then a large, hairy figure stepped out, walking upright like a human. Shocked, he quickly stopped recording and drove off. After posting the video, he suggested it might be a werewolf, possibly linked to the Michigan Dogman legend. Since the footage is dark and blurry, no one can say for sure what it really is. While camping alone in the woods, a man heard strange noises and decided to investigate rather than leave. As he got closer, he noticed a bad smell, but kept going until he spotted something unusual in the distance staring back at him, which clearly startled him. Even after reviewing the footage, it is hard to tell what the figure actually is, as it looks more like a costume than something real, leaving the whole situation unclear and open to doubt. In a quiet forest setting, a camera captures a massive figure emerging along a trail, standing roughly 10 to 12 feet tall with a dark, hairy appearance that closely resembles Bigfoot. Instead of running, the person filming stays focused as the creature walks calmly through the trees, showing no reaction to its surroundings. The moment feels both calm and unsettling, raising questions about whether it is a real encounter or just someone in a convincing costume. A new father set up cameras to keep an eye on his son, just as advised, but what he ended up recording left him deeply unsettled. The teddy bear doesn't drop normally. It seems like something is keeping it in place. Then notice how the crib starts moving right after that, but it does not stop there. On another camera in his other child's room, a white mist rushes across the frame at full speed. The door suddenly flies open, the boy wakes up, and then it shuts on its own. There is no draft or clear reason for it to happen. It feels like something inside the house is trying to make itself noticed. Imagine finding out there is an unseen presence living under the same roof. A group of men captured footage after noticing something unusual in the night sky, drawing attention to a strange, unexplained sight above them. A group of men recorded strange activity in the night sky, with loud thunder-like sounds and moving lights that seemed to belong to some kind of craft. The way the lights were arranged did not match anything known to be built by humans, and the overall shape looked unusual, leading to the conclusion that it could be an unidentified flying object. A peaceful daytime forest scene suddenly turns strange when a large figure appears among the trees, standing still with its back facing the camera. At first, it could be mistaken for a bear, but its size and shape do not quite match, and while it might resemble an orangutan, its presence on the ground and larger build make that unlikely. The creature does not move at all despite being recorded, which adds to the mystery and raises the possibility of it being something unusual, even a Bigfoot-like figure, though its behavior leaves room for doubt. The insect world reveals another fascinating species, a pink-winged phasma that stands out for its delicate appearance and charm. Resting gently on a person's hand, it shows off detailed wings with a soft pink tint, making it visually striking. These insects feed on eucalyptus leaves and are mainly found across Australia, where their intricate patterns and colors make them feel like a small piece of living art in nature. The footage starts by showing a normal forest scene, but after a moment, it becomes clear that the camera is focused on one spot, where a large ape-like figure can be seen partly hidden behind a tree. The creature seems to be intentionally staying out of sight, though it is still visible, which makes its behavior feel deliberate and aware. Its size, posture, and human-like stance make it stand out from known animals, leading to the idea that it could be a Bigfoot-like figure, especially given the way it appears to be hiding. A woman named Elizabeth shared that her father had been bedridden for 14 years after fighting cancer most of his life. When he finally learned it had gone into remission, he was overwhelmed with joy and went out for a motorcycle ride to celebrate, but it ended in a fatal accident. After his death, Elizabeth began experiencing strange events in her home, mainly around one room. One night, while sleeping on the couch, she woke up to heavy footsteps coming from there. When she looked, she saw a dark shadow moving toward her, but it disappeared instantly. Later, her front door camera captured something unusual, a white mist-like shape appearing in the window, briefly rising before fading away. That window faces the same room where everything has been happening, leaving her confused about what it all means. The family began to see their toys shifting on their own at night. To stay calm, they even gave the presents a name, Ghost Manon. In the beginning, they thought it was harmless, but they were completely mistaken.
Toy cars. Oh, you have to be kidding me. No. No, sir. No, ma'am. I'm not going to lie. I don't know whether to wake up Elizabeth or call Justin ugly or call an exorcist. I'm not scared, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't shocked. So, I'll leave it there until tomorrow for Elizabeth to come and play with it. I feel so weird and out of place right now. I don't know if it's still there. Honestly, I'm considering leaving Elizabeth during the apocalypse and spending the night elsewhere. I don't know what to do. Let's go see how she is. Are you still there? Alright, so the Caribbean is getting good. I want to say I'm not scared.
At 3:30 in the morning, the father records a toy car moving by itself. His voice sounds nervous, and he insists the car has no batteries or motor. He tries to cleanse the house with salt, but instead of stopping, the activity becomes even more aggressive.
This is what woke me up, Elizabeth. Hey.
Goodbye.
Okay, no, seriously, what do we do? Oh. Okay. Someone said salt. Wait.
I don't know if you're supposed to make a circle around.
Well, it's a half circle. I don't think I need to do anything else. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Are you there? Yes. Okay. Yes, that's something I've discovered. So we're all sitting here, enjoying our Taco Bell, right? And Ghost Malone was moving that door a second ago. Ghost Malone, if you're still there, do something.
It was a sign.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Carefree. Okay, so ironically watching the Ghostbusters, right? Ghost Malone goes to you. Are you kidding? Well, I've been asking Ghost Malone some questions. Okay, so once if you're there, twice, or I guess none if you're definitely not there. Are you friendly? Okay. Okay. Do you like the Ghostbusters? No. Okay, do you like movies? Okay. Well, I'm just gonna watch the Ghostbusters. I guess that's insulting. Are you here to cause harm? Okay. God, I wish I knew Morse code. Are you an old spirit? Okay, but not a bad spirit.
Okay.
Are there more than one here? Okay.
The doors began to rattle, and the pictures started shifting on their own. Even the family pulled back, clearly shaken and scared.
A couple of strange things tonight. My mother's picture is moving a little bit. Ghosty Ghost Malone, are you there? Don't judge the mess. It's trash day. Ghosty. Okay, Maxie, what was that? We're sitting here. A real revelation. Are you okay? Yeah, Maxie. It's also worth mentioning that we've had several offers from paranormal people to come here, and those of us who aren't down there, but there have been some of them who are like the private profiles, except for the big ones that you guys know. Maybe I'll accept the offer to stay over so others can see if it's real themselves. I don't know, but anyway, I will write down all the questions you want to ask Ghost Malone. And then we'll do it like in Stranger Things with lights or buttons or something like that.
They begin talking to the ghost, asking it questions, and using knocks as replies. The entity reacts. It shifts pictures, rattles doors, and even frightens the family dog into running off. Experts warn that engaging with something like this can make it stronger. People also noticed that Ghost Manon seemed intelligent, calm, and able to follow instructions. It likely was never harmless and may have just been waiting for the right time to act. Dragons have always been part of myths and stories across different cultures, taking many forms over time, but their real existence is still a mystery. A recent clip shows a strange creature lying motionless on the ground that at first looks like an eel, but a closer look reveals features like spikes on its tail and long antenna-like structures that make it seem more dragon-like. This leaves it unclear whether it is just a cleverly made hoax, an unusual eel, or something more mysterious, keeping the question open. A person hiking alone at night notices something unusual and quickly records it. In the footage, a light can be seen floating between the tree branches, changing colors in a way that feels almost intentional. Some people think it could be a prank or just a camera effect, but no one really knows for sure. In the landscapes of Scotland, as dark storm clouds gather, a striking scene appears in the sky where multiple glowing orbs circle around the bright orange sun. The sight feels almost surreal, like lights moving in a coordinated pattern, drawing attention away from the approaching storm. This unusual display raises questions about what the orbs could be, with some suggesting UFOs or something unexplained, while others try to link it to more grounded causes, though the movement and formation make it hard to easily explain. A hiker in the mountains of Utah noticed a large, dark figure near the base of a mountain that seemed out of place. Instead of jumping to conclusions, a comparison was made by filming a 6-foot-tall, 200-pound person standing in the same spot. When both clips were placed side by side, the original figure appeared much taller and bulkier than the human, making it look like something unusual and raising the possibility that it could be a Bigfoot-like figure. The clip shows a large ape-like creature covered in fur with a muscular, almost human-like build and movement, making it stand out from known animals. It appears to notice the camera and tries to hide behind trees, though it remains visible. However, the footage keeps going out of focus in a way that feels intentional, which makes it seem less convincing and raises doubts about whether it is real or staged. An old black and white image from the 1940s is claimed to show a dead Bigfoot lying on the ground, though the picture itself is unclear and hard to interpret. The person who took it believed it was a Bigfoot on its back, but the shape could also look like it is lying face down, adding to the confusion. Due to the age and low detail of the photo, it is difficult to verify what it actually shows, leaving it open to debate whether it is genuine or just a misleading claim. This trail camera footage shows what can be captured even in complete darkness with no light. In the clip, a dark figure can be seen moving quietly between the trees. When its height is compared to the trees, it appears quite tall, and with its hairy look and the isolated forest setting, it strongly resembles Bigfoot. It even gives the impression of being out searching for food, though what it actually is remains uncertain. While camping, Lou Rock and his friends Joe and Todd discovered a rundown structure close to their area. Later that night, they went inside to explore and quickly picked up on odd noises and a harsh, rotten smell in the air.
Holy crap, that's a big spot.
That's so bad. Maybe I just cut down wood. You know what's crazy? It's hardly held up by anything. Look at that.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. There's not much.
No.
This could come down at any time. Oh my god, I just heard something over there. Dude, I just heard something over that way.
Somebody talking?
No, like somebody's walking and snapping.
Yeah, we heard stuff walking all around us, bro.
Are you serious?
Over that way.
Can't be in the face of the light.
Ooh, what's that smell?
Smells like sulfur, right?
Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
Smells like sulfur over here, real bad.
Real bad.
Yeah.
What is that?
Right here.
What is that? Oh my gosh.
Yo, what was that walking behind us?
Got chills, bro. Got chills all over. Something was right.
This place could literally fall down anytime. Completely. Holy crap. You're nuts. You guys are nuts.
They started to feel like something was nearby, even though they couldn't see anything at the time. Later on, viewers noticed a white, human-like figure near the building in the footage, something Lou and his friends completely missed, leaving the whole moment unexplained and unsettling. A Reddit user named Golatu's motion sensor camera captured something unsettling one night. After getting a notification, she grabbed a flashlight and went to check outside. While moving around the bushes, she suddenly noticed a pair of glowing eyes staring directly at her. Based on the height and posture, it did not look like any known animal in the area and felt more humanoid. She froze in place, realizing that getting closer without any protection could have been dangerous. Even though it could have been anything, it did not feel like something ordinary. A trail camera captured an image of a large figure partially hidden, almost like it is peeking at the camera, with dark fur and broad shoulders that give it a strong, intimidating look. While it may resemble Bigfoot, there are other possibilities to consider, such as it being a large animal or something misidentified, and without clearer evidence, it is difficult to say exactly what it is. A clip shows a strange cloud that looks much larger than the others and slowly moves across the sky before suddenly fading away, which is not something clouds normally do. This unusual behavior raises a lot of questions, with some suggesting it could be something hidden like a cloaked object, while others try to explain it as a natural phenomenon, though it does not match how typical clouds behave, leaving the situation unclear and open to speculation. A hiker in the remote mountains of British Columbia was taking photos when they noticed a large, dark figure on a distant slope. Its size and shape matched common descriptions of Bigfoot, but because it was so far away, it was impossible to say for sure. The region is known for its vast, isolated wilderness, making it a place where strange sightings often get reported. Over time, many Bigfoot encounters have come from this area, and this one just adds to the list, but it could just as easily be a visual illusion. A backyard security camera captures a strange moment in broad daylight as a dark figure quickly moves across the scene, unlike anything typical like smoke or shadows. Since such sightings are usually linked to nighttime, its appearance during the day makes it even more unusual. With no clear explanation, it remains uncertain whether it is something harmless, something dangerous, or just a misinterpreted visual. On September 8, 2022, a group of friends was camping in an open field near some woods and a construction site. As it got dark, the place turned pitch black, with the field offering no cover and the trees ahead looking like a solid wall of shadows. Two of them left the tent and headed toward the forest as part of a nighttime game where they had to move around without getting spotted. What felt fun earlier quickly turned uneasy once they were actually out there in the cold darkness.
Because I heard the sound from there earlier.
What if not?
The heck is that? Look. Oh, I swear I keep, seeing things. Same. Even though it's the scariest thing ever. Yeah. Wait. This is the construction site, the alarm might go on.
No, but not like... Do you hear that?
Yeah, I do. This is fine. Ouch.
As they moved across the field, faint alarms and odd sounds echoed around them. But with the construction site nearby, it was impossible to figure out the source. The silence of the area made everything feel louder and more disturbing. As they got closer to the trees, one of them suddenly spotted something strange in the distance.
What is that? What is that?
Where?
No, this is disturbance. Is that a disturbance? That's a disturbance. Oh my god. Yo. Oh my god. Thank god it's disturbance. What?
Did you see something?
I don't know. We heard we saw a red thing and then we heard something.
I was in the middle of the field. I was trying to get to you guys. I went to that forest area back there.
Yeah.
All the way back there.
Yeah.
And I swear I heard
Wait, you went all the way back there?
Yeah, I was back there.
For a split second, something like a faint red glow or shape appeared deep in the forest, instantly making everyone uneasy. They couldn't tell if it was one of their friends or something else, and things got even more confusing when another person came out from the woods right after. With people moving around in the dark, it was hard to track who was where, and the strange noises from earlier only made it worse. Later, one of them admitted they had tried to scare the group as a prank, but not every sound from that night had an explanation. In the end, they chose to stay inside the tent, talking it all through. An unusual image shows a tall creature, roughly 7 to 8 feet in height, with a human-like build, but covered in fur like an ape. Its face is not visible due to the blur, though many believe it resembles Bigfoot. The image came from a trail camera set up by a group of boys after some of their friends went missing in the same forest. Suspecting something strange, they placed the camera to find answers, and weeks later, it captured this figure. It raises questions about whether the creature could be connected to those disappearances. Since Bigfoot is generally thought to avoid people and stay hidden, it is hard to say if it could harm anyone, leaving it unclear whether this was an aggressive case or if something else was responsible. A man in Vermont set up a trail camera to catch whoever had been stealing apples from his property at night, but instead captured a blurry image of a strange figure crouched near a tree. The creature looked neither fully human nor animal, which led to different theories, with some thinking it resembled Bigfoot, while others believed it could just be a person in a costume, leaving the mystery unresolved. An explorer named Carpenter was filming his journey in the woods when he started feeling like something was watching him. After looking around carefully, he managed to capture a large white-haired creature hiding among the trees, clearly trying to stay out of sight. After observing it, he believed it was Bigfoot, but the unusual white color makes it harder to explain, since such sightings are rare and typically linked to creatures like the Yeti in snowy regions. With limited clarity in the footage, it remains uncertain whether it is truly something unusual or just a misidentified figure. At an unknown location, a strange creature was found washed up on the shore, with features that are difficult to classify. It had pale skin, a round head, and a mix of human-like and aquatic traits, including hands resembling a human's but with 4 claw-like fingers, while the lower body appeared fish-like. Its unusual appearance left people confused about its origin and how such a creature could exist, making it a complete mystery. This trail camera capture is believed to show another cryptid. The footage shows a creature moving, or more like hopping, along a path in the woods. It is hard to clearly identify it, but from what is visible, it looks somewhat ape-like. Taking a closer look, it is obvious the creature is fairly tall. The hopping movement could just be because only part of its body, mainly the shoulders, is visible. The person who uploaded it thinks it is Bigfoot, but with limited footage, it is difficult to confirm or deny that. Tim Morozov, a YouTuber who explores haunted forests and abandoned sites, spent the night in the infamous Meta Forest. Known for unnerving encounters that drive most people away, the dense woods held more than he expected. While attempting to contact spirits with an Ouija board, he unknowingly came close to a threatening presence. Unaware, a shadowy figure shifted behind him, barely visible in the dim light as he focused on the ritual. He had no idea he wasn't alone. The forest's eerie silence was only punctuated by faint rustling, hinting at something lurking in the darkness. The true horror became clear later when Tim reviewed his footage.
Вы тут? Мать. Фонарик, тень, откуда-нибудь показался.
The footage showed it racing through the trees, and the sight sent a chill through him. He understood he had been observed the whole time. Yet the forest still had more in store for him.
Сказала, уходи. Рация снова шатается. Сейчас проверю ее на Эми. Сигнала нет. Кто здесь? Кто здесь?
The unnerving events kept escalating, each one scarier than the previous. Strange noises echoed through the trees, distant but unmistakable, while the oppressive atmosphere made every move feel tracked. The sense of being watched became a chilling certainty, and panic overtook him, drowning out all reason.
Кто-нибудь? Твою ж мать! Это не человек! Это не человек!
Feeling the threat closing in, Tim dashed to his tent for safety, but the forest's oppressive fear made it unbearable to remain there. A trail camera in Sydney, Australia, captured a large ape-like figure, which stands out since animals like that are not known to live there. Some connect it to the Yowie, Australia's version of Bigfoot, which is described almost the same as sightings from other regions. This similarity across different cultures makes some people think there might be more to it, while others believe it is simply a misunderstanding or coincidence. A trail camera in the woods captured a strange, blurry shape that appears to be hovering above the ground, sparking different interpretations. Some think it could simply be a moth caught in motion, while others find it more mysterious because the image was taken near a small burial mound in Missouri, leading to theories that it could be some kind of ghostly presence. The trail cam footage first shows a group of deer feeding at night, with their glowing eyes reflecting the camera's light, which is normal. However, later in the clip, a strange, distant light appears that oddly resembles a human head covered in something transparent. This unusual detail shifts the scene from ordinary to mysterious, leading to different interpretations, with some thinking it could be something paranormal or even alien, while others see it as an unexplained but possibly natural occurrence. A trail camera owned by Heath Jude captured something that quickly grabbed the attention of cryptid fans. Recorded early in the morning around 4:30 a.m., the footage shows a strange figure moving along a wooded trail. It looked somewhat human, but had clear animal-like features, including glowing eyes and a snout similar to a canine's. Some people believed it could be a dogman or even a werewolf, based on how it moved and stood. Since the video didn't clearly show details like a tail, a lot was left open to interpretation. A Reddit user named Stats Lamau shared a creepy photo said to be taken inside the Indiana State Sanatorium, an abandoned tuberculosis hospital known for eerie stories. The image appears to show a tall, shadowy figure hidden in the darkness, something the poster only noticed later while reviewing the photos. Some people say they have heard similar stories about a tall, human-like presence moving around the building, sometimes even following visitors. Others believe it could just be another person partially hidden in the shadows. The uploader insisted no one else was there at the time. Whether it is something paranormal or just a trick of light and angle, the photo and the location's dark history have made it one of the more talked about sightings. YouTube channel Novice Wild Camper usually posts calm, simple camping videos, heading to quiet, remote spots to enjoy nature and escape daily life. Most trips follow the same routine, walking into the woods, picking a spot, and setting up a hammock to relax. On October 24th, 2023, he picked a wooded area near some houses he wasn't familiar with. At first, setting up went smoothly, but soon, something felt wrong.
Thought I could hear someone then.
As he prepared his camp, strange noises came from the trees. Initially, it sounded like typical forest sounds, cracking branches and rustling leaves, but soon there were eerie, almost voice-like sounds combined with heavy footsteps. The unsettling noises persisted as he finished setting up his hammock. Later, around 4 a.m., the video shows him shaken inside his locked car. He described how the crashing sounds, which began like falling branches or nuts, gradually seemed to move closer through the trees.
I sort of fell asleep to the sound of chestnuts crashing through the trees and hitting the deck. And it's the same sound every time, sort of crunch, 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 thump. After the rain started, but some crashing around that got nearer and nearer and nearer to my hammock. And every time I moved or got out to check, it stopped but didn't run away. So I expect if there's a deer or something.
The noises seemed to move through the woods, getting closer to his hammock step by step. Whenever he shifted or tried to look around, the sounds would pause briefly, then resume. Eventually, a loud thud landed right near him, making it feel like large rocks or heavy branches were being thrown toward his camp. He quickly decided to leave, moving through the dark woods back to his car. Even in the morning, the strange events continued. Another heavy rock rolled out from nearby brush and stopped near his feet. Not wanting to risk anything further, he packed up and left. To this day, he has no explanation for the mysterious sounds and moving objects. Whether it was an animal or someone playing a prank remains unknown. A controversial image shared online shows what first looks like a snowy forest with trees, but on closer inspection, some people believe there is a humanoid figure, possibly resembling a yeti, partially hidden and moving across the scene. The shape can appear like a face and body if observed, which has sparked debate over whether it is actually something present or just the mind interpreting patterns in the environment. This trail cam capture is really hard to figure out or even imagine what it could be. It was recorded deep in some remote woods, and the creature looks extremely strange. It seems to have a beak, long arms, and small feet, giving it a very unusual appearance. There are no known creatures, paranormal or otherwise, that match this description, and even searching for similar images does not bring up anything close. Because of that, some people think it might be fake, while others believe it could be something unknown, maybe even something beyond normal explanation. A person set up a wildlife camera deep in the woods to capture animals like deer. For days, nothing unusual showed up, but while going through the footage later, one image stood out. Sitting in a tree was a dark, human-like figure with glowing eyes, looking straight at the camera. The owner said the area was private land, with no one living nearby and far from any trails or roads. So whatever the camera picked up that night remains a mystery. A clip shows a set of strange dolls placed deep in the woods, with their appearance giving off an unsettling vibe, almost resembling blocky characters like those from a game. In the darkness of the forest, surrounded by night sounds and limited light, their presence feels even more disturbing. The real mystery is not just how they look, but who placed them there and for what reason, leaving the situation feeling eerie and unexplained. A man went on a solo hike, filming the forest to enjoy some quiet time. Everything seemed calm until his camera caught something unusual on the trail ahead. Between the trees stood a dark figure, much larger than a normal person, with very white shoulders and moving on two legs. The footage is too blurry to clearly identify it. Some think it could have been a person, while others say it looked too tall and unusual for that. He never moved closer, and the video ends without showing what the figure actually was. This video was recorded by Xenia, a YouTuber known for exploring abandoned places and remote forests. On April 29, 2024, he ventured into a dense Russian forest 2 hours from home, a place surrounded by ghost stories. After parking, he grabbed his gear, entered the woods, and began his live stream, sharing a local legend with his viewers.
Привет, с вами Женя Искатель могилы, ребят. Я не думал, что когда-то решусь на то, чтобы посетить это место ночью, но сегодня я все-таки решился и приехал сюда. Ребят, это старое заброшенное кладбище, на котором, по предварительной информации, захоронена самая настоящая ведьма. Я не знаю, насколько это правда. Сегодня я собираюсь подтвердить или опровергнуть этот самый факт.
Xenia, curious about a witch's ghost rumored to haunt a nearby cemetery at night, ventured deeper into the forest with his camera. As darkness fell, only a small candle lit his way, casting eerie shadows. He found a spot near the old cemetery and set up his tent, then began sharing some of its history with his viewers.
Близлежащая деревня отсюда. Казалось бы. Знаете, когда находишься здесь, как-то на подсознательном уровне не чувствуешь себя не так страшно, а как когда ты находишься... Ребят, только что... Бля, мне так еще не было страшно. Там в кладбище был треск. Я не знаю, сколько записался звук. Буду надеяться, что...
Xenia suddenly heard an unusual noise, and at first dismissed it as coming from a nearby village, but it persisted and made him uneasy. Grabbing a flashlight, he stepped out and saw only trees and gravestones, until a faint, eerie singing came from the cemetery, sending shivers down his spine. Drawn closer, the air grew heavy and oppressive, and he noticed a faint glow in the bushes. Two glowing eyes stared at him from the shadows, and a figure loomed near a tree. Heart racing, he approached cautiously, unsure if it was the legendary witch or his imagination. Realizing he wasn't alone, fear set in, and he hurried back to his tent, though the sense of dread only deepened.
Подождите секунду, я вроде бы закрывал, когда уходил. Палатку. Или нет? Сука. Это называется у страха глаза велики. Просто банально, я, наверное, не понял, что я не закрывал, оставил в таком положении. Это не мой след. В смысле...
When Xenia returned, his tent was wide open, and the ground was covered in footprints that weren't his. A chill ran through him, not the ghostly legend, but the idea that someone else was out there in the dark. Then, a blood-curdling scream pierced the silence.
Спокойно, спокойно. Может быть, я просто не помню. Я не помню, когда последний раз брал эту палатку. И куда я ее брал, может быть, это мой старый след, и я наступал в каких-то других своих кроссовках. Друзья, только что я отключил сейчас полностью весь свет. Там подъехала какая-то машина. Для меня очень странно, зачем приезжать на кладбище ночью на машине в 2 нахрен часа ночи.
Heart racing, Xenia grabbed his camera and spotted a flashlight cutting through the trees, moving directly toward him. Terrified, he saw a shadowy figure drawing closer, and the threat was unmistakable. He bolted through the forest to his car, locked the doors, started the engine, and drove off, abandoning his gear and courage. Though safe, the ordeal left him deeply shaken. This footage does not show enough detail to clearly identify what is being seen. At first glance, it might look like a gorilla, but on a second look, it starts to resemble a massive spider. Looking closer, it does not fully match either, which makes it even more unsettling. The shaky camera suggests the person recording was clearly frightened, almost like prey facing a predator. Even though the creature seems to be moving toward him, he somehow managed to upload the video. It is unclear whether he escaped safely or if the whole thing was just staged for attention. A woman named Nico Williams was heading home with her husband after dark when they noticed unusual tracks in the snow. The prints came out of the woods near their house and led down toward their driveway. They were large, around 9 to 10 inches wide, with a stride of about 35 inches. Both had seen animals like bears in the area before, but these didn't match anything familiar. Even her husband, an experienced outdoorsman and skeptic, said he had never seen tracks like that. She shared photos online, and people quickly started guessing. Some thought it was a bear's overlapping steps, while others believed it could be Sasquatch. In the end, no one could say for sure what made them. A nighttime forest scene starts calm, with trees and a marked trunk creating an eerie setting, but the focus quickly shifts to a bright object in the sky. At first, it looks like the moon, yet a closer look makes it seem more like a glowing orb or something unidentified. Its unusual appearance raises questions, with some linking it to supernatural activity, others suggesting an alien source, while a few consider it an unknown natural phenomenon, leaving the true explanation uncertain. A Reddit user was spending a day at the beach near Warden Point, exploring old World War II bunkers and looking for fossils when something unusual caught their eye among the rocks along the shore. Hidden between the stones was a bundle of sticks and rope, and beneath it, a broken stone head that looked out of place. They spent hours trying to pull it free and eventually took it home. At first, it just seemed like a strange but interesting find, maybe part of an old ornament washed up by the sea. But after bringing it back, things started to feel off. Objects moved on their own. Strange noises echoed through the house, and a constant, uneasy feeling followed them. It quickly turned into a reminder that some things are better left where they are. A trail camera photo shows a dark, goat-like creature staring directly into the lens, creating an eerie and unsettling feeling that makes it seem more than just an ordinary animal. At first, it could easily be dismissed as a regular goat, but the intense gaze and unusual presence give it a mysterious, almost supernatural impression, similar to stories of skinwalker-like encounters. However, after further research, it turns out to be a real and rare species called the saola, a horned ruminant discovered in Vietnam in the 1990s, which explains why it appears so unfamiliar and strange. A collection of images taken over the years from different locations shows a large, furry, ape-like creature moving through wooded areas, leading many to believe they captured Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch. This legendary being is often described as a tall, hairy figure living in remote forests of North America, especially the Pacific Northwest, with stories dating back to indigenous folklore and continuing through modern sightings, footprints, and blurry photos. Despite ongoing searches by enthusiasts and researchers, there is still no solid proof of its existence, and some even speculate that those who may have found it chose to stay silent, adding more mystery to the legend. While hiking, someone spotted a tall, dark figure partly hidden in the foliage. They quickly snapped a photo and quietly made their way back to their car. The shape looked like it was covered in dark fur and standing upright, which immediately stood out. Later, they shared the image online, unsure if it was just a bear or something like Sasquatch. Either way, the moment didn't feel normal to them. Some accident scene photos circulating online show a strange humanoid figure standing on or near the damaged vehicles, even though no such person was present when the pictures were taken. In certain cases, the figure appears dressed in dark clothing, sometimes even resembling the Grim Reaper with a scythe, which has led to theories ranging from supernatural sightings to captured souls. Others dismiss it as edited or manipulated images, since there is no scientific basis for such a figure, leaving the whole phenomenon open to debate. The footage shows thick green foliage, but a closer look reveals what seems to be a face hidden within it, blending in almost perfectly with the surroundings. It is easy to miss at first, which makes it more unsettling once noticed. The natural camouflage raises questions about whether it could be an unknown creature or just a case of the mind interpreting shapes in the environment. A Bigfoot researcher in Hoosier National Forest, Indiana, set up a camera and called out in hopes of attracting something when a figure appeared among the trees. The creature seemed to hide behind a thin tree while peeking out, standing upright on two legs with a domed head and broad shoulders. A photo was captured as it remained still, leading the researcher to believe it was Bigfoot, though it remains uncertain whether it is genuine, a misidentified animal, or a staged image. During a visit to the Jenny Wade house, a woman took a photo of her son as he looked through a bullet hole in the door, but later noticed a faint, human-like figure appearing in the shot between them. The image quickly caught attention, especially because of the home's history tied to Jenny Wade, who lost her life during the Civil War after a bullet struck her while she was inside. The house still carries marks from that incident, and the appearance of the figure led some to believe it could be a lingering spirit connected to that tragedy, while others see it as nothing more than a visual glitch or edited image. A TikTok user named Wonders of Google Maps often shares strange moments found on Google Maps, but this one felt more disturbing than usual. In the image, a woman is seen walking out of a wooded area, while behind her, partly hidden among the trees, there appears to be a motionless body lying on the ground. It is unclear whether it was a tragic moment accidentally captured by a passing Google Maps car, something more sinister, or just a staged setup. With no confirmed location or explanation, the truth behind the image remains unknown. A Reddit user named Sold by Darian was out hunting near Chalk Bluff, Alabama, when he came across something strange. He shared a photo showing his hand placed inside a huge footprint pressed deep into the ground, much larger than a normal human track. What made it even more unsettling was how the forest suddenly went completely silent around him, something experienced hunters see as a warning sign. As he stood there looking at the massive print, the real concern wasn't just what made it, but whether it was still nearby. Luckily, he later posted the footage online, which means he made it out safely. On the Thai Pig Patrol channel, known for real, hands-on fishing in tough conditions, Ty and his crew cast their lines into fast-moving water, expecting the usual catch. But under the bridge, something strong suddenly pulls back, and when it finally comes up from the water, it is nothing like what they were prepared for.
Hurry up, you don't want them dying. We're starting to have an outgoing tide now. It's starting to move. Is it a fish?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You might have he might have a Goliath. Take your time. Take it easy with that big. I think you got a Goliath.
Dude, he is pulling.
That's either a Goliath grouper or you got the biggest nurse shark on the planet. Oh, but he's running drag, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's the right kind of fish. That's something good.
How long it was on there? That's a long time, man.
It could be a stingray. Is it going up?
No, dude, it ain't. It's just, I think it's a grouper, man.
Or just carried away?
He's surfacing. No, he's not.
You just staying down and rubbing? The thing that I'm a little nervous about is stingrays are the most notorious for grabbing a bait and laying on the bottom and you wouldn't even know they were there.
Yeah.
They're just drifting color. Yeah, they are. I didn't realize. I thought they...
Color.
What is it? It's a sheet. It looks like a stingray.
Oh, it's massive.
Look at the length on that thing. Yeah, it's a big door.
I can't wait to get that in the boat.
Big giant barn door.
Come on.
Go into neutral so you don't have to deal with the tide.
No, it's all right.
I think we're drifting. We're not even at anchor anymore. He's probably 200 plus pounds. Yeah, that's a big stingray there, boy.
What kind of stingray is it?
Atlantic stingray. Big Atlantic stings. Here, I'm gonna have to use the. Let me grab it. I'll pull him up.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he's big. Giant monster. Damn.
Look at his tail.
Yeah, he's a big Steve Irwin killer.
Is that the kind that killed Steve?
It literally is, yes, sir. The big Atlantic stingrays that killed Steve Irwin. Man, what a sheet. I can't get up high enough to cut it. I guess I'll have to be quicker about it. I'm cutting right out of here.
Gone?
He's gone.
When the animal finally surfaces, they realize it is a massive Atlantic stingray, its wide body spreading across the water. One wrong move could have turned the situation dangerous in seconds. Understanding the risk immediately, Ty does not hesitate. He cuts the line, and the stingray glides back beneath the surface.
See what's going on here. We got a little bit of weight. Something. What?
Something killed all our dude. Oh man, look at that.
What is that?
That is Mr. Toad. That's an oyster toad, man.
Wow. He does have another hook in him. That is the strangest fish I've ever seen.
It's called an oyster toad.
He's got teeth.
Don't hurt you. Like the fire.
Look at how fat he is.
It hurts.
It's a giant toad. You seen that? That's a big one?
That's a big one, dude. Weird fish.
Look at, he's got little horns back here.
Yeah, they're freaky looking.
He's the craziest critter I've ever seen. He does, his face looks just like a frog.
Not long after, another catch comes up, shorter this time, but unsettling in a different way. The fish looks deformed, with a wide mouth and rough, unusual features. Ty immediately tells everyone to keep their distance. Even something small can be dangerous, with sharp teeth and hidden spines that can cause injury in seconds. They handle it carefully and release it back into the water. Some catches are not trophies, they are warnings. The real danger was not aggression. It was how unpredictable everything felt and how little room there was for mistakes in fast-moving water. And if those were the creatures that showed themselves, it leaves you wondering what else was still lurking beneath that bridge. During a last-minute road trip with her mom, she ended up in what felt like the worst place she had ever stayed. What was supposed to be a fun getaway quickly turned into a nightmare when they arrived at night and had trouble finding the cabin, relying only on unclear directions.
Road trip with my mom. It was super last minute and we did not make any sleeping reservations for the entire trip. We were just doing it like night by night. But there was one night where everywhere was so booked up. Even the Motel 6 was $350. So we ended up using this app called HipCamp. It's kind of like Airbnb, but it's for camping. People can rent out like space on their farm or on their property and you can set up camp, but sometimes they have like cabins or glamping. So we find this HipCamp. It was kind of nearby. It had 100% good reviews. There were only like 10 reviews though. It was basically on an old horse camp, like a summer sleepaway camp. So I guess the camp wasn't going on anymore, but they were renting out the bunks, like the cabins for people to stay in. I've gone to summer camp many years. My mom's worked at a summer camp. We thought it would be fun. So we book it. Now after booking it, my mom was kind of messaging back and forth with the host. The host said like, oh, well, there's a lot of different mattresses. You'll have to test which one you like. My mom said, are there clean sheets on it? And she said, I'll put one on. The only instructions we got were that it was like behind the house next to like a red dumpster. We get there at like 10 o'clock. It was pitch black. We could not see anything. And we couldn't figure out like where we were supposed to go. There was a big house and then a driveway and it just went into the woods, like pitch black, literally in the woods.
Eventually, they managed to find the place.
I keep walking and then I see 2 bunks. Look at that fucking red glow. Look at the red glow. That's real. That's where we're supposed to sleep.
Oh, this is so creepy. Absolutely not.
Do you see the cabin?
Absolutely. So you can take us up to the room? Oh god.
Oh yeah, we heard a guy screaming like in the woods too.
Yeah. No. Ew, it smells like piss. Look at the dust. You know what? What is that? Ew. What?
The fact that this is real.
Emily. Oh, it's so disgusting and scary.
Look at the dirt.
The place felt so unsettling that they chose to sleep in the car instead. The next morning, she recorded a few videos of the nearby cabin, and shortly after, they received a message that made things even more disturbing.
This was the bunk we were supposed to sleep in because there was a red, clean sheet on the top mattress of the pile of like 10 mattresses. See that clean sheet on top? On the mold? Look at this. Decaying blanket. The smell, guys. I can't tell you. Moldy, smelly couch. So in the morning, we get a text from the woman that's like, so here's how you're gonna get to the site. Why did she not text us the night that we were staying there? Like, we already figured it out. My mom was pissed, so we go to drive. There's like a house where the host lives on like the horse camp. We drive down to the house and stop because she wanted to go talk to the host. There's a little boy that is sitting on the porch playing with a toy. Creepy, creepy. And he's like, yeah, playing with a toy. He just looks at us and we look at him. And I said, excuse me, is your mom so-and-so? Like Jane. And he's like, no, I was Betty. And I was like, oh, well, is Jane home? And he's like, yeah, she's home. I'll go get her. So he runs inside, comes out about a minute later and says, she's not home. Really? Really? You just said she was. But what are we gonna do? It's a little boy. So we said, okay, and we left. I left the longest review on this place. Like, no pictures, no reviews show, like, the pile of, like, care, like, what? Like, the mold, the filth, like, what? Next night, we stayed in a place that actually had a clean shower, and I cried tears of joy. If you're in upstate New York, do not stay at that horse camp.
Shaken by the experience, they promised to book their stays in advance from then on. A family was staying at their grandfather's ranch, and around 2 a.m., they were getting ready to leave. So they started the car early because of the cold. Two cousins stepped outside, and one accidentally turned on the camera instead of the flashlight. For a brief moment, the light revealed a figure shaped as a young boy, standing still with its head tilted and a strange facial appearance. It did not move or react at all. Terrified, they ran back inside and told everyone. The next morning, ranch workers mentioned that a child had died in that exact spot years ago. If the story is true, it is deeply unsettling. On October 10th, 2024, 35-year-old Dustin Chersom drove into a remote area near Moose Creek, north of Big Sky, Montana, planning a quiet weekend in nature. He set up his tent, organized his gear, and settled in. He was supposed to meet a friend that Friday, but never showed up. By the next day, concerns started to grow. On October 12th, his friend went to check on him and found something disturbing inside the tent. At first, it looked like it could have been a wildlife attack, but officials quickly ruled that out and confirmed it was a homicide. Investigators later determined that Dustin had been killed through deliberate violence, with injuries caused by a heavy object. Months later, Darren Christopher Abbey was identified as the suspect through DNA evidence, and he eventually admitted his involvement, saying Dustin had led him into the campsite before the attack. In November 2025, a jury found him guilty of deliberate homicide and tampering with evidence. Dustin is remembered by his family as a loving father, a skilled outdoorsman, and a kind person whose life was taken far too soon in a senseless act. Two men were walking through a forest at night when they came across a moss-covered mound with a metal hatch on top. They opened it and climbed down, finding an underground chamber with a pool of water and a narrow tunnel along one side. They went into the tunnel, moving forward while crouched since it was too low to stand. The walls were damp and the air felt old, like the place had not been touched in a long time. The passage stretched further into darkness, with no end visible in the footage. When they tried to look it up later, they found nothing. No records, no mentions, nothing. It was as if the place did not exist, leaving one question behind. What was it built for? In late October, a trail camera captured a strange figure moving through a remote wooded area. The footage was taken at 4:37 a.m., a time when no one would normally be out there. The figure looks human at first, but its neck and arms seem unusually long and thin. It walks with a hunched posture, swinging its arms widely as it moves quickly. The owner of the camera mentioned that the area is far from any road or trail. Without more details about the exact location, though, the footage remains unexplained. A woman browsing lakefront homes on Zillow noticed something odd in one of the listing photos. When she zoomed in, it looked like a faint, half-transparent figure of a woman, which made her wonder if it could be a ghost. Curious, she shared the image on Reddit to get others' opinions. Some people thought it might be something paranormal, while others were more focused on the house's price. Without any real background on the property, there was no clear way to explain what it actually was. The video shows a lineman handling a high-voltage power line safely due to specialized protective insulation.
Do it again. It feels like shit, Mitch.
While tiny sparks are visible, caused by electricity jumping between the wire and his body, his gear prevents a fatal surge. These sparks act like a rapid electric tug-of-war, occurring up to 60 times per second. Despite how impressive the footage looks, interacting with such high voltage without professional equipment is lethal. In 2021, a Reddit user visited Willow Creek, a location already known for Bigfoot sightings. While hiking, they captured something unusual on camera, a dark, human-shaped figure standing near the trees. Some people quickly said it was Bigfoot, while others brushed it off as just light and shadows. But the person who took the photo was not convinced, saying the shape did not match any tree, branch, or object nearby. In the end, what they actually captured remains unclear. A 72-year-old woman from Missouri had been saying for a while that she kept seeing a little girl inside her forest home, but no one believed her. Then she took a photo, and in it, a faint ghost-like figure can be seen standing in the frame. That image made people question everything, leaving many to wonder if she had actually captured the spirit of a little girl, or if there was another explanation behind it. A farmer in rural Michigan was going through footage from a game camera after getting a motion alert late at night. The camera was placed deep in a thick forest, far away from roads, homes, airports, or any obvious light sources, and he expected to see normal wildlife. Instead, something strange showed up. In the middle of the night, a bright light suddenly came down from above. There were no people, no vehicles, and no clear explanation for where it came from. Nothing else appeared before or after it. He never figured out what caused it, and the footage still makes him uneasy. A Reddit user, Native Meraki, claimed that the previous owner had their ashes scattered on the property, and even earlier, the land once belonged to Native American tribes. That raised an eerie possibility. Was the figure linked to the former homeowner or someone from much further back in history? Whatever the truth is, the figure remains a disturbing mystery. TikToker Maya Aska traveled to Indonesia with a film crew and arrived early at Telaga Biru, a lake on the slopes of Gunung Gede, a place often connected to myths and supernatural stories. With filming not starting until the next day, she spent time alone near the lake taking photos. When she tried to record a video, her phone suddenly stopped working. The screen went blank, and the record button would not respond, something she said had never happened before. Later, while going through her photos, she noticed something disturbing. In one image, a figure appeared to be standing on the surface of the water, looking like a woman with long dark hair in a position that did not seem physically possible. Maya said no one was there when she took the photo. In local folklore, the lake is believed to be guarded by a spirit often described as a woman in white, seen as both protective and territorial. Many hikers report feeling watched or experiencing strange sensations near the water. After sharing the image online, several viewers claimed the figure looked clearly supernatural, adding to the mystery. In September 2025, 6-year-old Darius McDougall disappeared during a family birthday camping trip at Island Lake in Alberta, Canada. While the group was cleaning up the campsite, Darius and 2 other kids went to play near a nearby body of water. 20 minutes later, the other children returned, but Darius was gone. The RCMP and over 400 volunteers launched a massive search using dogs, drones, and helicopters. Because Darius is autistic and might not respond to his name, searchers even played his favorite music to try and find him. After 11 days of searching the rugged wilderness without finding a single trace, the official ground effort was called off. Although there is no evidence of an abduction, the case stays open, and his family still returns to the site, holding out hope for answers. On June 24, 2023, 28-year-old Ian O'Brien went for a solo hike in Colorado's La Plata Mountains. An experienced outdoorsman, he reached the summit of Hesperus Mountain that afternoon, and even sent a photo to his partner around 6 p.m. However, he never made it back to camp. Initial search efforts in the steep terrain were unsuccessful, but volunteers and friends kept looking for weeks. Nearly 10 weeks later, on September 2nd, 2 fishermen found a body in a remote section of the West Mancos River. It was confirmed to be Ian, and the cause of death was ruled an accidental drowning. Authorities noted his body had been submerged under several feet of water, which is why earlier search teams hadn't been able to spot him. TikTok user Haunting Image shared a disturbing clip captured by a residential door camera around 2 a.m. The recording captured a faint figure materializing on the porch. Some viewers suggested the figure bore a resemblance to a woman who had passed away in a 1948 car accident nearby. However, since the specific location was never disclosed, this claim remains unverified. While a segment of the audience felt certain the footage documented a real ghost, others were skeptical, suggesting digital manipulation due to the figure's oddly smooth and clear appearance. TikTok user Brandon Fleetwood was playing GeoGuessr when he was dropped onto a random country road. While looking around, he noticed a parked truck that looked familiar. To his surprise, the vehicle in the game was an exact match for the truck sitting right outside his building at that moment. Since the game picks locations from all over the world, the odds of landing right where his own truck was parked were incredibly low. It's a bizarre coincidence that leaves you wondering about the timing and who might have been using that truck for camping when the Street View car drove by. On October 14, 2006, 8-year-old Samuel Sammy Boylka vanished in Crater Lake National Park. During a hike with his father near Cleetwood Cove, Sammy, who had autism, suddenly ran into the woods. His mother noted he was obsessed with finding yellow pumice stones, and he may have run off to continue his search. He scaled a steep, sand dune-like slope of loose rock, making it impossible for his father to catch him before he disappeared. Search efforts were immediately crippled by a snowstorm that dropped 7 inches of snow and brought freezing temperatures, grounding helicopters for 2 days. Despite extensive searches under logs and rocks, no trace of Sammy was found, and authorities ruled out foul play. Even as recently as September 2025, multi-agency search teams returned to the rugged terrain, but nearly 2 decades later, no evidence of his whereabouts has ever been recovered. Near Key West, Florida, a group of men captured footage of strange, circular openings in the sky.
Bro, look at these clouds. What is going on? What is that?
But look over there, there's a circle one that's the actual cloud. Yeah.
While observers often speculate about portals or cloaked UFOs, these are a known meteorological phenomenon called hole punch clouds, or fall streak holes. They form when supercooled water droplets in a cloud layer suddenly freeze into ice crystals, often triggered by a passing aircraft. This causes the surrounding water vapor to evaporate, leaving a distinct circular void. Despite their apocalyptic appearance, they are simply a rare natural display of atmospheric physics. One night, a homeowner caught some eerie sounds outside and decided to film into the dark to see what was going on. He managed to record a skinny, humanoid figure moving through the trees in the distance, which left him feeling like he'd spotted something predatory and not of this world. While he's left questioning what exactly is hiding in the shadows, it remains unclear if the figure was just a person, a known animal, or something completely unexplained. 2 friends were checking out Gettysburg when one snapped a photo of the other standing on the far side of a bridge at night. It looked like a normal shot until they reviewed it later and spotted a faint, blurry figure in the middle of the bridge. They're certain nobody else was there at the time, making the appearance of a person walking through the darkness pretty unsettling. A friend of Instagram user Mike Minai was checking trail camera footage when he spotted two figures walking hand in hand deep into the woods. The weirdest part was their clothes. They looked like they were from another century, with some people thinking they resembled Civil War era outfits or old-fashioned nightgowns. The figures appeared to be a young boy and girl moving silently through the forest. While plenty of people think it was probably a prank, the uploader insists the camera was in a super remote area with no roads or houses anywhere nearby. To this day, nobody has been able to figure out exactly who or what was caught on camera that night. TikTok creator Chase Allen 3 was browsing Zillow when she spotted something creepy in a listing for a cabin in Statesville, North Carolina. While the property seemed normal at first, a closer look at one of the windows revealed a pale, non-human figure staring out from the darkness. The figure appeared completely colorless with a distorted face, and while some might dismiss it as a marketing stunt, the creator feels that there is something genuinely unsettling about this specific house. An explorer in Seibo, Japan, who spends his time searching off-trail mountain areas for World War II relics and old ceramics, made a bizarre discovery near an abandoned coal mine. At a collapsed mine portal, he initially found tripod bags and a suitcase full of cables, but it wasn't until he returned that he found a 2008 Sony Handycam wrapped in plastic and tucked away about 50 feet from the gear. He also uncovered another suitcase buried under dirt and rocks at the entrance, but because the camera had no battery, the tape remained trapped inside. The careful way the equipment was hidden suggests someone might have been trying to conceal footage they didn't want found, and since the contents of that tape have never been revealed, the mystery of what was recorded remains unsolved. During a severe winter storm in Deer Park, New York, crews clearing massive snow piles at a 55-plus residential community made a grim discovery. While digging through the deep drifts, workers uncovered the body of a man buried beneath the snow.
They're telling me, there's a dead man in the snow. I go, what?
Police arrived at the scene and confirmed the victim was a 64-year-old man. Investigators suspect he may have collapsed during the storm and was subsequently buried as the snow continued to pile up. Authorities are still investigating to determine the exact circumstances that led to him being trapped beneath the drifts. Late on February 25th, a woman in Washington was out for a walk when she noticed a silent, glowing blue light hovering in the sky. When she zoomed in for a better look, she saw smaller, multicolored lights moving in perfect sync around the main one, making it look like a single connected object. Since it didn't match the appearance of a plane or any typical aircraft, some people think she may have captured a UFO. A guy was out running errands when his phone buzzed with a motion alert from his home security system. When he checked the live feed, he saw a glowing object drifting through his empty house, casting a weirdly long and distorted shadow. He's convinced it's some kind of interdimensional being that doesn't follow the laws of physics, though skeptics think it's probably just a bug on the lens or a common camera glitch. A woman at her cabin went to film her dog, but saw a dark shadow standing in the doorway through her phone screen. When she looked up, the doorway was empty, yet her friend on a video call could see the figure clearly. After posting the footage online, many commenters identified it as a shadow person, leaving the origin of the figure a total mystery. A guy woke up in the middle of the night to a loud bang outside. He checked out the window, but everything looked normal. Still, he had a bad feeling, so he pulled up his security footage. At the 4:02 mark, he saw a figure sprint past his house. The camera quality was pretty rough. It actually made the person look like they didn't have an upper body, but it was clearly someone running through his garden. It's definitely creepy, wondering who was out there that late and what they were up to. In July 2016, a 17-year-old German named Mike Mansholt went missing while on vacation in Malta after heading out for a solo bike ride. His body was eventually discovered at the bottom of the Dingley Cliffs, the island's highest point. While officials initially thought he might have accidentally fallen, the evidence didn't really line up. He didn't have the types of fractures you'd expect from a fall like that, and his rental bike was surprisingly undamaged. On top of that, his phone, wallet, and camera were completely missing. The mystery took a darker turn when his body was sent back to Germany. A second autopsy revealed that his internal organs were missing. While officials blamed natural decomposition, many people found that hard to believe. Even after investigations by both Maltese and German authorities, they concluded there wasn't enough proof of foul play, leaving the case officially unsolved. a Reddit user shared a creepy find on a backyard fence. The word help or hello written in a red substance that looked like blood. The backyard has a single gate that's usually left unlocked, but there were no tracks in the snow to suggest anyone had been there recently. Without security cameras, there's no way to know who did it or when, leaving the whole thing a mystery. It definitely seems like something worth reporting. A few years back, 2 people were working on a large engine in a garage when this photo was taken. Nobody noticed anything weird until much later, when someone looked closer at the background. Tucked behind the machinery in shadows, there appears to be a small figure peeking out. It looks exactly like a child's head, even though the photographer is certain no kids were around that day. It might just be a trick of the light or part of the engine, but it's unsettling to think someone could have been back there watching. While on a family vacation at a quiet lakeside, a man filming the scenery caught 2 white, humanoid shapes moving on the far shore. The figures appeared out of nowhere, drifting across the land with a fluid, otherworldly motion before vanishing just as fast. While some skeptics think it was a camera glitch or an optical illusion, the way they moved made them look eerily like ghosts. The strange, brief appearance of these pale figures has led some to wonder if they were something more supernatural, like spirits lingering by the water. In 2011, police in Nizhny Novgorod, Russia, arrested Anatoly Moskvin, a highly educated linguist and cemetery expert. At first, he appeared to be an ordinary academic, a graduate of Moscow State University, who spoke multiple languages and had a deep interest in burial rituals. However, behind his quiet life with his elderly parents, something far more disturbing was hidden. Inside his apartment, investigators discovered dozens of life-sized figures dressed in children's clothes, which were later identified as mummified bodies of young girls he had exhumed from local cemeteries. Moskvin had spent years digging up graves, preserving the bodies, and treating them as if they were alive, celebrating birthdays, watching cartoons, and even giving them names. To his parents, they looked like large dolls and nothing more. He claimed he was trying to rescue the children, believing that science or even magic might one day bring them back to life. A psychiatric evaluation diagnosed him with severe paranoid schizophrenia, and in 2012, a Russian court ruled him unfit to stand trial. Since then, he has remained under compulsory psychiatric care. One night while in the forest, a man filmed something truly bizarre. A circular, flat craft was floating silently above the trees, emitting a vivid orange glow. It eventually started to sink lower, moving behind the branches until it was out of sight. While it looked exactly like a UFO, there might be a more logical reason for it. Regardless, seeing something like that while alone in the wilderness would make anyone believe in visitors from another world. While recording a drive, a person caught a frightening sight on camera. Initially, the dark shape in the frame looks like it could be part of a nearby palm tree, but slowing the video down reveals a figure standing separately from the plant. The entity looks like a pale woman in a long white dress. Her see-through appearance and grieving posture are reminiscent of the famous weeping woman from folklore, a spirit said to roam while looking for her children. What do you think this could be? While staying in a quiet part of the French Alps, a person noticed a strange blue light beaming down from the clouds late at night. Because of the heavy cloud cover and the distance, it was hard to see exactly where the light was coming from. Some people think it was just a natural occurrence, like lightning reflecting off ice, while others believe it looked like a UFO. What do you think caused it? While exploring near his campsite in Glengarry, a camper found an old gate along a nearby path. Several small dolls were hanging from the gate by ropes around their necks. The sight was unsettling and made him wonder if it was a prank, an art project, or a warning for strangers to stay away. He decided to leave the area immediately rather than risk meeting whoever was responsible. A TikTok user shared a picture from a friend who was walking dogs on a mountain trail. While the scene initially looked like a typical hike, a closer look at the background revealed a disturbing detail. A pale woman with dark hair was seen peeking out from behind a wall. She was wearing a tattered, ancient-looking dress that seemed to belong to a different time period. Since the hikers were the only people on the trail, many people believe the figure was a ghost of someone who passed away there years ago. The exact location was never shared, so the mystery of who the woman might be remains unsolved. The Mexico-Japan elementary school at night had a caretaker who warned that a girl would appear and they shouldn't talk to her or follow her, but the warning wasn't taken seriously. It was their last night painting there, and they decided to see what would happen. They believed they were completely alone that night with no one else around except the workers, and the wide shot was recorded to test whether the story was real. Later, when the footage was reviewed, it started to feel like the girl might have been standing there unnoticed every night, watching from the shadows. In the video, she can be seen at the top of the staircase, staring down with long hair and no clear facial details visible. An urban explorer slipped into a restricted, decaying relic of a building, dead set on capturing its final secrets. The place was basically pitch black, with thick shadows swallowing up the halls, but he pushed deeper into the gloom until he hit a particularly eerie section. Suddenly, a chilling, supernatural voice echoed through the air, and he realized right then that if he didn't act fast, he wasn't making it out.
I know.
If that voice had come from someone hiding out in the dark for weeks, someone who really didn't want to be discovered, he probably would have been toast. In a massive, empty shell of a building like that, there are 0 witnesses and 1,000,000 places to stash a body, meaning a single wrong move could have easily been his last. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.